Now it's ready.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد الأولين والآخرين وعلى كل من تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Usually it's our Sira day, but we've got requests about Tafsir al-Qur'an, so we'll do a little bit inshallah. But Friday program is going to be mainly the Sira of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because we went through a lot of series talking about the Sira, and we got to the point where Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is going to get permission to migrate or move from Mecca to Al-Madinah. We will do tafsir, but I'm just, refreshing. So we got to the point of Hijrah, the biggest event in the Muslim history, which is the Hijrah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from Mecca to Al-Madinah, when Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam one night came to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, and he came in an hour that usually not the time that he would come to talk to Abu Bakr. And Abu Bakr was worried, and he said, if something is really that urgent. Abu Bakr's daughters, Aisha and her sister, were there. So he said, do you want to wait? He said, no, I'm just going to tell you. So he told him that finally Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us and give us permission to move from Mecca to Al-Madinah. The biggest event in the Muslim history, where a lot of Muslims show their devotion, show their sacrifice for the sake of Allah, for the sake of Islam, because they want to worship Allah freely, and they want to practice Islam like what we do here in a non-Muslim country. They wanted to be free to pray, to go anywhere they want, to give da'wah, to read Quran without being stressed and pressed and pressured. So, and then a lot of Muslims, المهاجرون الذين أحصروا في سبيل الله, so they were stressed, and a lot of them moved to Medina, and they left. Some of them left their family members, some of them left their house, their business, their money. They just gave up everything and to catch up with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam left first with Abu Bakr, and they hid in the cave, the story of that, and then later on the Muslims will follow. And then one of the Sahaba, I always like to mention his name, because if you think you're sacrificing anything for Islam, watch what he did. He gave up all his money to migrate to Al-Madinah, and then an ayah was revealed because of him. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ. This man, his name is Suhaib al-Rumi. He was rich, he had money. Then he was moving out to Al-Madinah. Quraysh stopped him and said, you know what? You came poor, now you're rich, and you want to leave with that money to follow to follow Muhammad? We're not going to let you. He said, two choices. Either I fight you, and he was very good with arrows, or I'll give you a second option, which is I'll give you all my money. I will tell you where it is. He could have lied, but that time lying was not something of their character. So he pointed and he showed them where all his money is in Mecca, and he gave them a promise. Even though enemies, he gave them a promise. They liked the promise, and they said, okay, now you're free to go. He left all his money to migrate for the sake of Allah, to see Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a lesson to us. I'll end here. This is a lesson to us where if anything comes between you and Allah, you should sacrifice that. You should give that up, no matter what it is. If something's going to stop you from worshiping Allah, from doing what Allah is asking us to do, then we should give it up. So we'll resume, inshallah ta'ala, next Friday on our seerah, which is beautiful. We'll talk about the arrival of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Medina and how Rasulullah is going to آخى رسول الله بين الأنصار والمهاجرين, how he's going to make the muhajirun, the ones who migrate, and the ones who are already in Medina, how Rasulullah is going to make them one community, which we should be doing here. Make our community together with the ones that are here, the ones that are new, the ones that are far from Allah, bring them in. And thus the list is long. It's going to be a beautiful story with Al-Ansar wal-Muhajirin next week, inshallah ta'ala. We started, wallahi, I wish we have more time. We can do more nights, but inshallah in the future we'll be adding nights, and so we can have time to talk and do more lectures. So we started after Fajr. For those brothers who are coming to Fajr, we started this series of Tafsir القرآن. And as I mentioned before, no one can claim the fact that he understands and can explain the book of Allah. But al-ulama, the scholars, they put in a lot of efforts, and they base their searches on the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas was the translator of Quran. Every verse that was revealed, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu knew the meaning and he could explain it, and his explanation is well known. Tafsir al-Quran, we talked about Surah Al-Fatiha and we finished it, and we did it in Fajr. Just to recap, because again we got requests from those who missed it to talk about Surah Al-Fatiha. Al-Fatiha سميت الفاتحة من فتح يفتح, وهي أنها, it is the beginning of the Quran. It is the surah that opens up the book. Al-Fatiha. Then it has another name, which is السبع المثاني. نزلنا عليك السبع المثاني والقرآن العظيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because it has 7 verses, including Al-Basmala, which is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, Surah Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. When Allah hears someone singing that, subhanallah, Allah responds and said, Majjadani Rabbi, Hamidani Abdi, Majjadani Abdi. So, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. The point that is very important in Surah Al-Fatiha, because we talked about it, but just to refresh, is when you get to the point of Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim, which is the right path that we should be making dua. It is the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every Muslim should make this dua, and we talked about it in a khutbah, saying that if you want to stay firm on Islam, of course, Ihdina as-Sirat al-Mustaqim, you ask Allah to guide you to the right path, but at the same time, you make dua that Allah keep your heart firm on Islam. And then we said, صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم الضالين. We want to be in the path of الذين أنعم الله عليهم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم, the path of those that Allah blessed and provide. Who are those? Allah says, الذين أنعم الله عليهم. In another ayah, those are من الذين أنعم الله عليهم من الصديقين والشهداء والصالحين. These three, وحسن أولئك رفيقا. These 3 groups, الصديقين, those who are honest with Allah. Honesty with Allah. Allah knows best what we have in our intention. And we should be honest, and we should keep our honesty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As-sidqu ma'allah. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه. صدقوا. Some of the mu'minin, من المؤمنين رجال, some men, صدقوا, they keep their promise, they are honest with Allah. What they promise Allah with, they stayed on that. It's not like some of the Muslims these days. When Ramadan comes, they promise Allah, oh Allah, help me do this. They make a lot of dua, they come to salawat, fajr, isha, all of that. But then after Ramadan, the promise that they make to Allah is gone. Those are not going to be called as-siddiqun. So if we are not among the first group as-siddiqun, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not provide us that dua in Surah Al-Fatiha, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. So من الصديقين والشهداء, الشهداء الذين يستشهدون في سبيل الله الذين يضحون بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله. الشهداء, and we talked about الشهداء. من الصديقين والشهداء والصالحين. الصالحون, you don't have to be, a companion or a scholar or an imam or any of that. To become salih, to be pious, you don't have to be among those. There are a lot of Muslims that are very pious that people don't know about. They're very humble. No one knows them. They're poor. They live somewhere that nobody knows. But you know what? They are very pious. They don't miss salat. They don't miss dhikr. They don't disobey Allah. Anything that brings them far from Allah or take them away from Allah, they're not going to do it. They want to be min as-salihin. So these are الذين أنعم الله عليهم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. What's after that? Yes. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. When you ask Allah to give you that path of those that we talked about, الذين أنعم الله عليهم, the ones that Allah provide and bless, then you make an exception. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. There is المغضوب عليهم and there is الضالين. المغضوب عليهم اليهود والضالين who? النصارى. Some scholars said that right now everybody or both are مغضوب عليهم. Just, why? Because some of them, some Nasara, they know the truth, but they don't want it. So المغضوب عليهم are Yahud. Why Allah غضب عليهم? Allah is just not happy with them, not pleased with them. Allah's mercy, they are kicked out of Allah's mercy. Why? Because the Yahud, Allah actually took care of them before us. Allah gave them so much. And every time they give Allah a promise, they break it. They don't keep their promise. That's why Allah غضب عليهم. So, al-Yahud, they know that Allah is the truth, is one. And they know that Muhammad ﷺ is the last prophet. And they know Isa is Rasulullah, but they don't believe in Isa. And they know Musa is Rasulullah, but they believe in Musa, not in Isa. And then the Nasara, they believe in Musa, not in Isa. So, وقالت اليهود ليست النصارى على شيء وقالت النصارى ليست اليهود على شيء وهم يتلون الكتاب. Both of these religious groups, each of them say that religion doesn't exist, and vice versa. Now, this makes Islam the winner. Why? Because in Islam, we have to believe in Musa, Isa, what else? Give me a name. Ibrahim, Ismail. Give me a name. Yaqub, Dawood, Yusuf, Hud, Lut, Shu'aib, Nuh. So that's why it's easy for a non-Muslim to really embrace Islam, because look, you have a group that don't believe in Isa, a group don't believe in Musa, and a group that don't believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But we are the ones who believe in all the prophets. So غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الضالين, those who went astray. Those who went astray. They went the wrong way. They didn't want to look for the information. They just want to stay astray. But as I mentioned, the ulama said, look, everyone knows, mostly everybody knows Islam now. And if someone knows about Islam and doesn't, become a Muslim, doesn't find out, doesn't open up to it, and dies as a non-Muslim, even though he knows Islam exists, then, إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. Allah says, لا ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Do not die unless you are a Muslim. And then there is another group that we do get questions about them. It's a group that don't know anything about religion. They live somewhere where there is no TV, no phone, nothing. They don't know the civilization at all. Someone could say it's not fair that they get punished if they don't embrace Islam. Yes, it is not fair. So what is the thing about them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the day of judgment, when He resurrects everyone, He will test them. He will test them. Allah says, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. This is the answer in the Quran. We will not punish until or unless we send a messenger. Da'wah. On the day of judgment, Allah will send them a messenger. Allah will send them someone who is going to tell them about Islam. Imagine that. Allah will, by the way, the day of judgment, anything that comes to your mind is going to be different. The life now and the life in the day of judgment is going to be different. So, any imagination that you have about the style of life now is going to be different. So, if someone could say, hey, how long He's going to give them, and that's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah says, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. So, this is a short talk about Surah Al-Fatiha, because we talked about it in little details, ayah after ayah. Then, we said that some of the benefits of Surah Al-Fatiha is it helps you cure yourself, whether from stress or from other sicknesses. And it is called in Islam al-ruqya. Al-ruqya. And we were talking with some brothers that some people use Quran and ruqya to just take people's money, which is not the right way. That's why I want to say that Surah Al-Fatiha is one of the ways that every Muslim can make ruqya for himself, without calling someone, without calling a sheikh or an imam who's going to come and sit there and charge you a lot of money, and then all of that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Quran, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Even the ones who cannot read Arabic, they can read Surah Al-Fatiha. And we see the miracle of Quran in China, in a lot of countries, in Russia, in Turkey, in a lot of non-Arabic speaking countries, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in a lot of you know what? They memorize Quran. Kids, they know nothing about Arabic. They don't speak Arabic. So, and they memorize the whole Quran with al-ahkam, with all of the guidelines. So Surah Al-Fatiha, every Muslim can cure himself with Surah Al-Fatiha. How? If you are stressed, if you have a problem, if you complain about anything, pain, then you do ruqyah by again reading Surah Al-Fatiha 7 times. But Muslims should know that ruqyah, I'm not getting out of the subject, I'm talking about the benefits of Surah Al-Fatiha. But for someone to do this ruqyah, to read Quran on himself so he can feel better, there are some conditions. Yes, there are some conditions. What are the conditions? They have to trust Allah. They cannot say, hey, I'm just going to read it and give it a shot. No, you don't give it a shot with Allah. Allah does not, take that. It's not, hey, I'm going to try this with Allah and see if it works. No, you believe from the bottom of your heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cure me. If He doesn't cure you, then Allah knows best something for you. Allah knows that, you probably it's not time for you to be cured. Surah Al-Fatiha. So the conditions, you trust Allah, and then you should not be in sins. If someone is sinning, if someone is not nice to his parents, like we talked about in the khutbah, Allah will not respond to his dua. So we have to follow Allah's orders for the ruqyah to work. For the ruqyah to work. So these are 2 benefits. And then you read Surah Al-Fatiha 7 times, then the beginning of Al-Baqarah, then Ayatul Kursi, then the last page of Surah Al-Baqarah from Amana al-Rasulu till the end. Then you read the last 3 surahs, Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and then Al-Nas. So this is Surah Al-Fatiha. There's a lot to talk about Surah Al-Fatiha. We need probably months if we want to really talk about the Quran in real details. But some ulama, it took them years and years to do tafsir. Then Surah Al-Baqarah, the second surah in the Quran, 286 verses. Surah Madaniyah was revealed in Al-Madinah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts a surah with Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim, these are the broken letters, al-huruf al-muqatta'ah, that no one could actually explain them for real what they mean. So the meaning is Allah knows best. Then it starts ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Now, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, that's the book. Which book? The book of Allah. لا ريب فيه. This word is very important for all the Muslims. لا ريب. الريب هو الشك. الريب is doubt. Someone give you a news and you doubt it. You say, I doubt that it happened. So if any Muslim says, I doubt about the Quran, or in his heart doubts any verse of the Quran or any word of the Quran, then that person becomes, if he disagrees with the words of Allah, then it is kufr, it is shirk, it is disbelief, yakfur al-kufr. So, la rayba, Allah is saying, look, this book, there's no doubt about it. That's what it means. Then, after Salat al-Fajr, we stopped at Hudan lil muttaqin. This Quran, if the Muslims know the Quran, wallahi, they will not leave it, and they will hold on to it, and they will apply it. Allah is telling you, look, just like if you're going to the mountains, and you're going to be climbing or hiking in a big mountain area, and you don't know where to go, and someone comes and says, look, take this map with you, don't worry. It's going to direct you just like a GPS. It's going to direct you everywhere you need to go. You're not going to be lost. It's going to even tell you when to stop. It's going to tell you to avoid certain areas. It's going to tell you where something good will be. It's going to tell you where something bad will be. So Allah is saying here, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ, this book, لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is guidance, not to everyone, to al-muttaqin. It doesn't mean that if someone is not muttaqi, he will not be guided. No, what I mean by that is Quran guides everyone. But when someone is among al-muttaqin, he goes in his life without mistakes, without breaking his promise to Allah, without disobeying Allah, without falling out of the path of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ. If someone want to know, if a non-Muslim asks you, tell me what is Quran, you can just tell him this verse. إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ يَهْدِي لِلَّتِي هِيَ أَقْوَمُ. Beautiful. إِنَّهَا, not beautiful is the Quran, not my recitation. إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ, this Quran, يهدي, guides, لِلَّتِي هِيَ أَقْوَمُ. Quran guide you to what's straight, to what's good, to what's strong. Because it is the word of Allah. وَيُبَشِّرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. When He guides you, وَيُبَشِّرُ, good tidings to the mu'mineen. ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا كبيرا. Quran give those believers who perform good deeds, you're gonna have a big ajr. The biggest ajr is, what's the biggest ajr? Jannah? Is there something bigger? Jazakallahu khair. To see Allah. You know what? When you don't see your parents for 6 months or for 2 years, how does it feel? Let's say there's no WhatsApp, there's no camera, nothing. You haven't seen your dad for 5 years because you were just busy or something. When you get that plane ticket and you're going, how does it feel? Or someone who's going to have a baby, 9 months, and that little baby is inside, and you're excited what his face is going to look like. You're excited. How about to look at the face of Allah? That from ever since we wondered, what does Allah look like? So the biggest ajr is not just Jannah. Actually, the happiness of Jannah will not be complete until you look at Allah. If someone says, no, it's not going to happen. You know what? It's in Surah Al-Qiyamah, right? Allah says, وَجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٌ. That's great. That's great too. Na'im, some faces will look beautiful. But what I'm looking for is وجوه يومئذ ناظرة إلى ربها. Come on, brothers. Come on. Sheikh. ناظرة. وجوه يومئذ ناظرة. The first one is ناظرة. The second one is ناظرة. ناظرة, first one. The look on their face has nur. Nur. If Allah give you from His nur, Allah nuru samawati wal ard. Ila rabbiha nadhira. To the Lord, those faces are looking. But when I say looking at Allah, don't imagine the face of Allah like our face. Allah says, ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. Anything you imagine about Allah cannot be. Allah is different. ليس كمثله شيء. Nothing looks like Allah. He has hands, face, eyes, ears, he can hear, he can see, but not like us. That's why he is Allah. So Quran again guide you, and with Quran give you the biggest tiding, and that you have the biggest ajr, and the biggest ajr, the biggest reward is to look at Allah. So hudan lil muttaqin. Who are al-muttaqun? Allah is talking about. Allah is going to tell us who are these al-muttaqin. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. And by the way, we'll talk about al-muttaqin. Surah Al-Baqarah starts talking about three groups. The first group in the first page are al-muttaqun. So Allah says, الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. You want to know who are al-muttaqun that Allah talks about them here? Okay. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. They believe in غيب. Al-ghayb, who? Al-ghayb is what's coming in the future in the language. Something coming, it's ghayb. No one knows what it is. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But don't tell me I know. Tomorrow I'm going to go to the mall, I'm going to do this. No, that's not that. Al-ghayb. Something that no one knows. Allahu indahu ilmu as-sa'a wa yunazzilu al-ghayth. So we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen in 20 years, but Allah knows. This is al-ghayb. Some people say, or some scholars say, al-ghayb is Allah itself. Why? Because we've never seen Allah. He is ghayb. We don't know what He looks like. This is the second opinion of the scholars. So the third opinion is al-iman bil-ghayb. يقولون, they say, al-iman billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawm al-akhir wal qadar. And they focus on al-qadar. Al-ghayb, they say al-iman bil-qadar, which is to believe in destiny. All what happens to you is already prescribed in the book. That when Allah, Allah creates first. What did Allah create first? Does anyone know? Al-qalam, the pen. Allah creates the pen and said, write. What the pen's gonna write? Maqadir al-ibad. Ila an taqum as-sa'a. Allah told the pen, write all what's gonna happen to everybody till Yawm al-Qiyamah. Yes. So, al-muttaqun is from taqwa, which is to fear Allah. And what is taqwa? Taqwa, كما عرفت. Taqwa هي الخوف من الجليل. We should memorize this. Taqwa is الخوف من الجليل. Zid. What's after? والعمل بالتنزيل والرضا بالقليل زد والاستعداد. I said زد. It's in Moroccan, sorry. والاستعداد اليوم رحم. تقوى four things. الخوف من الجليل, to fear Allah. To fear Allah not just in the masjid or when we're sick. No, to fear Allah in everything we do. Everything we look at, we hear, we listen, anything you do. Fearing Allah is not just, to pray. No, that's mandatory. That's something, to become a Muslim, you gotta pray. If you are on your cell phone, it's something that does not take you close to Allah, does not give you any benefit. Something that's just entertainment that does not really help. Someone could say, you know what, I fear Allah, I don't want to look at this. Because you know what? It takes me away from Allah, actually. So, taqwa is to fear Allah, al-khawfu min al-jalil, wal-amalu bit-tanzil. Tanzil, al-Qur'an. You apply the Qur'an with no questions. Qur'an, some Muslims, I've heard them, I've read about them. They say, you know what, Quran, it's great, but you know what, Quran did miss a few things. Like, inheritance in Quran is not fair. If someone says this, he becomes kafir. I don't like to kafir. I like to say someone is kafir. But if you say that the guidelines that Allah put there, the laws of inheritance and miraf, are not fair to women, then you disagree with them. And if someone says, like when we say, وَالسَّارِقُ وَالسَّارِقَةُ فَاقْطَعُوا أَيْدِيَهُمَا, those who steal, cut their hand. Allah said that. If everyone applies that, no one would steal. Look at the benefit. But they say, come on, cut their hand. Well, let's say give them 2-3 chances, then do it. If you really want to be nice. But to apply, Rasulullah said, لو كانت فاطمة لقطعت يدها. Even though it's my daughter and she steals, I'll do that. Because Allah said so. So, al-amalu bit-tanzil. When you take the Quran and you read it, and you read what Allah asks you to do, if you don't do it, then if we don't do it, then we are not among al-muttaqin that Allah talks about here. So, al-khawf min al-jalil wal-amalu bit-tanzil wal-rida, to be pleased bil-qalil, be pleased with whatever you have. Small house, small car, little food, little clothes. Be happy and pleased. Al-qana'a, sustenance. Be pleased. Allah knows what's good for you. You know what? Some Muslims who are very pleased with Allah, they are poor. They don't have a car. They don't even have a bike or a scooter. But they fear Allah really, really strong in the Day of Judgment. When people are resurrected from Al-Qubur, when they come out from the graves, these people that never own a bike, they will have the best ride by the angels waiting for them. Because when we come out of the graves, this is another topic. Someone could say, what are you talking about? But I say that 3 groups. Group will be on their right, second group walking, third group walking, but not on their feet. On their, not chest, on their face. Aisha said, Rasulullah, how come someone can walk on his face? He said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the one who made them walk on their feet can make them walk on their head, on their face. So anyways, we said the taqwa, we got to rida bil qalil, to be pleased with whatever you have. وَالِاسْتِعْدَادُ لِيَوْمِ الرَّحِيمِ, to be prepared for the day we go. كُنْ فِي الدُّنْيَا كَأَنَّكَ عَابِرُ سَبِيلٍ. Living in this life, you should live like someone out of town. Someone coming from New York, going to California, then he stops at Denver for a few days, then he leaves. That's exactly what we should do. That's exactly what dunya is. How many people lived before us? Everybody is gone. So this is taqwa. And then I mentioned that taqwa, Abu Hurairah said, when a man asked him about taqwa, he said, have you ever walked on a road with sharp pins, like bushes that are sharp? He said, yes. He said, what do you do when you walk on a road like that? He said, At-taqi ash-shawka, I avoid those pins. He said, كَذَلِكَ التَّقْوَى. That's taqwa. You live in this life, anywhere you go, something's gonna pin you, meaning something's gonna poke your iman, something's gonna poke you fearing Allah, leave it alone. That's what taqwa. So Allah says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ. Second quality of al-muttaqun, yuqimuna as-salat. If a Muslim doesn't pray, well, he's not part of this conversation. He's not part of the verse. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ. I mean, it's funny that a Muslim says, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله, and then he fasts Ramadan, then he doesn't pray. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. That's why we have to advise our kids and our friends and those who do not pray. Look, Salat comes next after Ash-Shahada. And we talked about Salat many times. وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And they give from what we provide for them. If you have money, make sure you give sadaqah. Don't forget, even though you don't have a lot, you can give even $1, 2, 3, 5, whatever. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ. Allah says, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُم. You know what? The money that we make, it's not because of us. Allah says, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ. From what we provide them. Allah is the one that allows us to work and allow us to make money and allow us to think and brainwash and do all these things so we can make money. So at least we gotta give. And if you don't know who to give, start with your aqrabi, with your family members. A brother or a sister or a mother or whoever, even though mothers and fathers are actually mandatory, you give them. Forgot to mention that in the khutbah. When you go out with your mother and father, don't let them pay for dinner. You pay, of course, if you can afford it. So, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. وَالَّذِينَ, here's the second quality. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. Those who believe in what Allah revealed. Now, when we say to believe in what Allah revealed to Muhammad, it's not just Quran. It's Quran and Sunnah. It's not just Quran. Allah revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam al-Quran wal-Hikmah. نزلنا عليك القرآن والحكمة وما أتاكم الرسول فخذوه وما نهاكم عنه فانتهوا وأطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول. So we believe in what Allah revealed on Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِن قَبْلِكَ. Not just to believe in Quran, but to believe in Tawrat, Injil, Suhuf, all the other books that Allah revealed. We gotta believe in them. That's why Islam wins, because we believe in everything. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Allahu Akbar. يُوقِنُونَ. They have no doubt in al-akhirah. Not like those who say, إِذَا كُنَّا تُرَابًا أَإِنَّا لَفِي خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. If we are dust, we will come back. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا رَبَّهُمْ وَأُولَٰئِكَ الْأَغْلَالُ فِي أَعْنَاقِهِمْ وَأُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. That's why one time Uqba ibn Mu'ayth came to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is actually a seerah short story. He came to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with bones, and he started doing this to the bone, and you can see the bone getting, dusty. He said, "Ya Muhammad, أتزعم أن ربك يستطيع أن يحيي هذه العظام?" Ya Muhammad, you say that your Lord can bring back these bones? That's why Allah revealed in Surah Yasin. قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي. What? Come on, brothers. قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي خَلَقَهَا أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ خَلْقٍ عَلِيمٌ. Tell him, if someone says, hey, look, this body is going to become dust or bone, then dust, then it's going to be gone. You open the grave, and there's nothing there. Okay? There's nothing there. So, how come this will come back? Allah says, tell him, you know who's going to revive, renew, remake those bones? The one who created them first. Very simple answer. Allahu Fatiru as-samawati wal-ard. Alhamdulillah, Fatiru as-samawati wal-ard. Fatir. Allah creates, everything from scratch. So it's easier to create. What's easier to create or to remake something that already exists, that already there, and then was dust. That's why Allah says, قُلْ كُونُوا حِجَارَةً أَوْ حَدِيدًا. Tell them whether you are rocks or metal. أَوْ خَلْقًا مِمَّا يَكْبُرُ فِي صُدُورِكُمْ. Or any other creature that is in your heart, Allah will bring it back. فَسَيَقُولُونَ مَنْ يُعِيدُنَا. They say, who's going to bring us back? قُلِ الَّذِي فَطَرَكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. The one who creates you in the first time. So look, Surah Al-Baqarah talking about وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. If someone has any doubt about Al-Akhirah, then, he is not Al-Muttaqi. He's not Al-Muttaqi. أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ مُفْلِحُونَ. Those are the Al-Muflihun. Al-Falah, Al-Muflihun is from Al-Falah. And Al-Falah is the highest level of success. The highest level of success. And success in Islam is Jannah. Success in Islam is Jannah. So that's why Allah says, لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا الْحُسْنَى. Those who are muhsineen, Allah give them husna. What is husna? Al-Jannah. Then Allah says, وَزِيَادَةً. لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا الْحُسْنَى. Those who are muhsineen, Allah give them husna, Jannah. And then He added something. وَزِيَادَةً. Ziyada means plus. This plus is رؤية to look at the face of Allah. Then أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. إن الذين كفروا. Now Allah talks in the first page about the first group, and those are al-muttaqun. In the second page of Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah is going to talk about the second and the third group. The second group is إن الذين كفروا الكفار. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. إن الذين كفروا, those who disbelieve, whether you call them and give them da'wah or not, لا يؤمنون. They're kuffar. They say, look, I don't care about your Islam. I don't want it. I don't want to believe in it. That's it. It's a clear message. Straightforward. لا يؤمنون. You know what Allah does to them? This is what we don't want to happen to us. ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة. Is it? What's next? وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ. Allah does something to them. When Allah knows in their heart that they don't like Islam, they don't want it, and they hate it, khatama. Al-khatm. Khatm in Quran is we finish, right? Khatm al-Quran. Al-khatm. has another meaning, which is you stamp on something that it's done. Here, Allah يَخْتِمُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ, meaning Allah's gonna just take away the guidance from them. خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ وَعَلَى سَمْعِهِمْ وَعَلَى أَبْصَارِهِمْ. Allah's gonna take away their heart from guidance, and their ears and their eyes. Three things Allah's gonna cover so they don't get the chance to believe again. That's it. جعلنا في آذانهم وقرا. Allah covers their ears, even though they can hear, but every time there is something good for them that's from Allah, Islam, Quran, all of that, Allah does not want them to listen to it. They listen to it and it gets out. Allah does not want them to enjoy it. You think this happens to kuffar only? No. This could happen to a Muslim. How? When a Muslim is going in the straight path, all of a sudden he starts sinning, opens the TV, he's looking at something and he starts, enjoying haram, or dealing in haram, or any other sin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He does, He takes away the enjoyment, for example, the enjoyment of the Quran from that person for a year because of that sin. يَجْعَلُ اللَّهُ فِي أُذُنِهِ وَقْرًا. Earplugs in his ear. Even though he can hear, no, he cannot hear about Allah. He kicks it out. He doesn't like it. That's why the fact that we are here and the fact that we come to the masjid and we have a Jumu'ah, we have Fajr, that's a blessing from Allah. Allah could take that away any day from us. Any of us should not be arrogant about that. None of us should say, I read Quran every day. I go to Fajr every day. I do this, I do that. You know what? None of that is done except if Allah allows you to. If Allah takes away that from us, no one can give us, no one can give it back. That's why we say, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qulubana ala dinik. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmah. This dua is amazing. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana. Oh Allah, do not move my heart. So this is the second group. وَعَلَى أَبْصَارِهِمْ, even their eyes. They don't see the truth. They see the snow, the mountains, they see a lot of things, but Allah never opened their eyes to think that it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't get that chance to believe because Allah took it away. So the second group in Surah Al-Baqarah at the beginning of the surah is Al-Kuffar. Now Allah talks about Al-Kuffar only in few lines. The third group is worse. Now there is Al-Muslimin Al-Muttaqin, those who fear Allah, the first group. And there is the Kuffar, disbelievers. Allah talk about them in few lines, few verses. The third group is Al-Munafiqun. Yes, the hypocrites. إن المنافقين في الدرك الأسفل من النار. If you bring a kafir, someone who does not believe in Allah, he says, look, you can be my friend, but don't tell me about Allah, don't tell me about Muhammad, don't tell me about Islam. You know what? I don't believe in any of that. I believe in myself. I do what I do. When I die, I'm gone, that's it. I don't care about the rest. This is a kafir, right? You know what? The hypocrite is worse than a kafir. Why? Because he could be a Muslim. He could be a Muslim who acts nice in the masjid, who prays in the masjid, who acts like a perfect Muslim, but then behind the scenes, he doesn't do what Allah asked him to. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. They say we believe. If they are sitting with us, I shouldn't say with us, but if they're sitting with Muslims, they believe. Yes, read some Quran for us, let's listen. Do this, do that. But then وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Inside them, and it did happen where some people who are known in the country, because of their status, they have to go to a Jumu'ah. So nobody says, that person, that mayor or that whoever, I never see him in the masjid. Maybe he doesn't pray. Well, he does come to the masjid. Just to preserve his status and his name in the city or in the country. So this group are the worst. المنافقون. وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا. الخداع. What الخداع is? الخداع. Yes, من خدع يخدع. Meaning يخدعك. He betray you. He give you a face that is different from his real face. Just like a mask. He put a mask when he's with you, then when you're not with him, then he changes his face. يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. They do that to themselves, but they don't know. So وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما إذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما آمن الناس قالوا ونؤمن كما آمن السفهاء. Allah talks a lot about them. We'll talk about it inshallah, because I think it's adhan inshallah ta'ala. So Surah Al-Baqarah again is very important. One of the benefits of Surah Al-Baqarah is it has to be read or played at home. Almost every, I shouldn't say every day, but we shouldn't let a week gone by without Surah Al-Baqarah, because it protects the household from shaitan. And it protects the household from arguments, from fighting, from problems, from all these things. So make sure you listen to Surah Al-Baqarah at home and you read it. Next week, inshallah, we'll resume our seerah, and we'll be doing seerah every Friday. Inshallah, we'll find another night for tafsir, inshallah ta'ala, so we can, keep everything in place, so we don't change any plans. And inshallah, we'll see what's the best day that will work for all of us, and we'll go from there. فاللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما. اللهم علمنا بما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا انك انت العليم الحكيم. فما كان من توفيق فمن الله وما كان من خطأ أو سهو فمني ومن الشيطان. Whatever I said, if it was correct, it's from Allah, who really helped me deliver that, and if it's a mistake, it's from me and shaitan. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.